Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Thursday. You know, everybody's winning on today, it looks like, because I just got done with a hearing. Your girl's out here winning. Girl out here winning. And then I look and I see your boy Jussie Smollett is out here winning. I would have never put that on my bingo card for today. So as you guys know, Jussie Smollett was on the show Empire. Empire was like the bomb, you know, with Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard, and we all watched that show. And then it was alleged that because he wanted to make more money or get more scenes or something related to his job on Empire, he came up with this alleged scheme of which he was acting like he was the victim of a hate crime. So what had happened was somehow he knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. And he ended up getting some sweet deal, which was more like a diversion program, of which once he paid the money, the charges was going to be dropped. Well, based on some pressure, apparently they brought those charges back. It was like disorderly conduct or something. And the charges were brought back and he was convicted, right? He was found guilty. He still to this day says it was not a hoax. He maintains his innocence. He said you guys were all tripping, okay? Well, his attorneys felt like from a procedural standpoint, this was not fair because he had already made a deal and struck a deal before. So how you just gonna bring this back later on? The Court of Appeals, I believe they denied it and said, no, we're not giving you no play. But the Supreme Court of Illinois said, you know what, Jussie, you got a point. You have a point, and we are going to overturn your conviction. Shout out to Jussie Smollett. He is shaking up the tables on this Thursday. He said he's not giving up. He don't care what y'all say. Now, again, this does not, I don't think it takes away from people whether they think that he really was a hoax. Because this really doesn't have anything to do with that. Really, when you get into why the Supreme Court, they just overturned the conviction because they should have never brought it in the first place because he had already struck a deal. You get what I'm saying? So let's see what this article says, because I'm not going to pull up the whole opinion because we'll be here all day. So we're gonna pull up an article. Make sure y'all hit this like button on the way in. If you are not really be talking about justice for Jussie. Jussie said, "Don't count me out." Okay. He said he is a fighter. Ain't that the song he did on there? What was that song he did with I like that song. The fighting song he did on there on Empire, because that's all he did was a bunch of singing. I don't know how his career has gone from the singing artistry aspect since he's been off. What was the name of that song about not giving up? Because everybody was using it for like your 8th grade graduations. I've seen it like a couple of times when my son was graduating and my nephew, or my daughter was graduating and my nephew. What was the name of that doggone song? Jesus. Oh, not the Shade Room one I posted. Y'all need to just go ahead and say you got it from over here. What was the name about being a fighter or something? And it was not giving up. Okay, I'm getting distracted now. Somebody go find that song for me. So this is what the Illinois Supreme Court had to say. You said all the celebrities and their lobbyists and the legal loopholes. Well, I think okay, let me read the article before we get into our debate, our Jussie Smollett debate for the morning. So it has the Illinois Supreme Court overturns Jussie Smollett's hoax hate crime conviction. This just came down at 10 o'clock this morning. The Illinois Supreme Court has tossed out actor Jussie Smollett's disorderly conduct convictions, ruling the prosecutors improperly charged him a second time after Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx's office initially dismissed the charges, alleging he orchestrated an elaborate hate crime hoax against himself. The court ruled Thursday that Special Prosecutor Dan Webb and his team had no standing to charge the former Empire star after Fox and her office initially resolved the case through an agreement which saw Smollett forfeit the $10,000 he paid in bond and complete 16 hours of community service. I mean, it was just a disorderly conduct. That's really not uncommon to get that type of diversion program. We hold, quote, that a second prosecution under these circumstances is a due process violation, end quote, the high court wrote, and therefore reverse defendant's conviction, end quote. That is from the highest court in Illinois. The ruling marks the latest dramatic turn in the high-profile case that garnered widespread national attention. Smollett claimed to be a victim of an attack by two men near the Streeterville apartment in the early morning hours of January 29th of 2019. This was like 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. He told investigators his attackers yelled racist and homophobic slurs before they hit him in his face, poured a chemical substance on him, and wrapped a rope around his neck. Following an investigation, Chicago police determined Smollett had hired the men, brothers Alabenjo and Abamalolo Ashanadoro. I made that up as I was going. I sound like I'm speaking in tongues almost. Ashabandolo Asanadoro. To stage the attack. He was then charged by Cook County prosecutors in February of 2019. But just weeks later, Fox's office dismissed those charges in a surprise move that sparked swift backlash against her office. The actor's legal team argued this dismissal was part of a deal between Smollett and prosecutors in which the charges were dropped after he agreed to forfeit the $10,000 he paid in bond and complete 16 hours of community service. The Supreme Court on Thursday ruled that the deal between Fox's office and Smollett constituted a, quote, agreement by which the case should have been fully resolved. The court pointed to a press release from Fox's office, which stated that if Smollett had not agreed to turn over his bond payment and complete the community service, then, quote, the charges would have not been dropped, end quote. So basically, he paid his way up out of there. The court wrote that, quote, there simply is no credible argument. And this is how they was talking to, because this is how they do in the Supreme Court when you're over there arguing. They're like, counsel, I don't understand how you think you are not violating this man's due process rights by charging him after you struck a deal. So, counsel, I need you to explain to me why you think that this is not an abuse of your discretion. I'm telling you, that's how they work. All right, let me get back to this. The court wrote that there simply is no credible argument that the dismissal of the initial charges was not entered as part of an agreement with the defendant. Later in 2019, amid continued calls for an investigation into Fox's handling of the case, a judge appointed veteran litigator Dan Webb as a special prosecutor, who probably got paid $1 trillion to investigate both the Smollett incident and what happened within Fox's office that led to the first charges being dismissed. Webb identified, quote, substantial abuses of discretion and a major failure of operation in Fox's office's handling in the Smollett case and filed renewed charges against Smollett in early 2020. Smollett was subsequently tried in 2021 and convicted of 5 counts of disorderly conduct. He was ordered to serve the first 150 days of a 30-month probation sentence in jail. Smollett served just 6 days of his jail sentence before he was released pending appeal. At his sentencing in March 2022, Cook County Judge James Lynn told Smollett he had, quote, destroyed your life as you knew it, quote. Whoa. Quote, I know that there is nothing I will do here today that will come close to the damage you have already done to your own life, end quote. That's what Lynn said, the trial judge over there in Illinois. Smollett then shouted back at Lynn after the judge issued his sentence, saying he was innocent. I'm not suicidal. Y'all remember that? I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. That's what he was doing over there. If you guys watch all of the shenanigans before he was led from the courtroom holding one arm up in the air. I am innocent, he yelled as he left the court in custody. I could have said I was guilty a long time ago. Y'all remember that? I'm trying to refresh your recollection. Smollett continues to maintain his innocence more than 5 years after the January 2019 incident. His attorneys have argued double jeopardy should have applied when a special prosecutor filed renewed charges against him after Cook County prosecutors dropped their initial criminal case. Now, I do agree with that. I'm not understanding how that wasn't double jeopardy if he actually made an agreement and they dropped the charges, meaning there was actually a dismissal. Quote, we are aware that the case has generated significant public interest and that many people were dissatisfied with the resolution of the original case and believed it to be unjust. The court wrote in its ruling Thursday, quote, nevertheless, what would be more unjust than the resolution of any one criminal case would be a holding from this court that the state was not bound to honor agreements upon which people have detrimentally relied. So basically, we understand, this is what the Supreme Court Justice said. Listen, we understand that people think it was unfair how it seemed like he got the sweetheart deal, probably because of who he know. Remember, it was letters and stuff, and you had I think it was one of these Black organizations. Everybody was rooting for him and giving him all these character letters. And then they found like emails or texts, which seemed like Miss Fox was talking or knew Smollett's family or something. So the community was like, if it was my Black son, it wouldn't even go down like this. So now because it's him, he just get to forfeit the $10,000 and y'all just gonna drop the charges. That was his bond amount. And y'all just going, but he was out here lying on the people, talking about they had MAGA hats and they had ropes and they tried to tie him up and they poured a liquid on him and they was doing all these racial slurs and calling him agates and all type of stuff while he was out there. So people was like, that's not fair. And the court said, hold on, we get it. It's not fair. However, it is more unfair for the citizens of Illinois to believe that if they come into some type of agreement with the prosecutor, that the prosecutor can end up taking it back and be like, psych, I was just playing, and take your agreement back because of the pressure, the political pressure they get from the community. So they don't want to start that slippery slope where this seems like it's okay. So they're not going to let this pass. So they have overturned this conviction. And that is your morning breaking news. All right, let me see what you guys have to say. See, I got through that in like 14 minutes, right? Anaja said, I bet the state won't be offering celebs more sweetheart deals. Man, listen, because everybody was on her neck. Is she still the prosecutor over there? I don't even know if she's still the DA. I'm sorry. I don't blame Jussie. I would have used every ounce of privilege I had to, just like the white folks do. That's from Elite Diva. Says she ain't mad at him. If some of y'all was able to use your privilege, you'll be doing it too. Hello, Lisa. She said, Pam has been working overtime for the intellects. Thank you, sis. I appreciate the super chat. You know y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve. Listen, Jussie out here. We both winning, Jussie, today because I was a little skeptical about my situation on today, and then you just say a little prayer like, Lord, Lord, I need you right now. I need you now. And then the judge was like, we're going for the plaintiff. I was like, what you say? Thank you. Let me hurry up and get off here before he changes his mind. Thank you, Judge. Let me hurry up. Let me jump off here. Jussie probably looked at that alert from his attorney. That attorney probably woke him up. He had crest in his eyes like, Jussie, we did it, Joe. We did it. We did it. The Supreme Court ruled in our favor. You can still maintain your innocence. See, this is what I think gonna happen, though, which is gonna make all of this, is he probably gonna get out and say, I told y'all I didn't do it, and y'all didn't believe me, when really, and technically, this has nothing to do with whether he did it or not. It was they just couldn't charge him for the same thing twice. That's really the bottom line. But of course, he probably gonna come out and say, you guys didn't believe me. You guys didn't believe nothing that I said. And look at you now. That's why you should not jump to conclusions when you hear things on the internet. People lie. He's probably gonna have a whole PR speech and try to use this to restructure, because he was out here winning for a minute with that empire. And then allegedly they saying he got greedy. I don't know the man, so this is just the reports that I'm saying, And but he probably gonna do that. So don't fall for the okie doke. Okay. If you believe that he did it, then you can still hold whatever beliefs that you want, because that's not what this actually resolved. It just resolved that the prosecutor cannot be making deals with you and then turning around and saying, oh, they on my neck, Jussie. I'm sorry. I tried to look out for you and all of that, whatnot, but I'm gonna have to take that deal back, and you want to start all over and pay your lawyers and all of that. And the Supreme Court said, we're not even about to start them games. We're not gonna start them gamesmanship. That is a contract, and that is a deal. Agreement is an agreement. Y'all need to be people of your word. That is injustice at its finest that you guys took it back and then charged him again. South Houston said that's exactly what he will most likely do. Most likely. Just Nikki said he better be quiet and go audition for the next role. That's what he better do. He need to just go out. I know he did a couple of Tubi movies or something. I guess he's directed a few movies, but wasn't nothing like Empire, man. Empire was like at its peak, and they had to finagle their way on what was going on with him and all of that. Hey, good to see you. Turning a moment into a movement. Good to see you. Hey, y'all. This is a good organization here. Speaking of wrongful situations, they actually are one of the organizations. They have a podcast, a program that comes on every Friday where they have people that have been wrongfully convicted. She does good work. Her son was actually wrongfully convicted, and then he got out. And then subsequently, after getting out, unfortunately, he passed away. So she's still fighting the fight in his name. Shout out to her. And that might be something y'all want to, check out. Check out. Sharon said, hello, Pam, and all that are watching. Love you, Pam. I love you more. Make sure y'all love me and hit that like button. Lady Tonya said, sounds like the Bill Cosby case, and his arse is guilty. Yeah, it's similar to the Cosby case. I mean, not the, I'm not gonna say the guilty part. That's right now he's considered not. He hasn't been convicted, but yeah, it was similar. You can't play dirty, and then fortunately for these people with money, they can fight him all the way to the Supreme Court, because he lost in the Court of Appeals, and he took that joint to the Supreme Court. Like, no. So yeah, get them lights up. I wasn't gonna be on here long. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hey, call me on Keisha's phone. Say it's still F Jussie. Oh my gosh. Andrew said, okay, so hear me out. I always felt Jussie wasn't the mastermind in the Ludacris plan. I felt his quote director orchestrated the whole thing to help them revive and save Empire. That's my conspiracy theory. You might have something to it, Andrea. You know, we analytical over here, okay? So, I mean, you may be right. You may be absolutely correct. Well, we're not gonna get into Bill Cosby, y'all. Kim Fox resigned, did she? Oh, you said it's personal. I can tell. A called me on Keisha's phone. The fact is like 600 of y'all in here, and it's 11:47. Thank y'all so much for the support, because I just randomly came on because I was sitting in front of the camera anyway, so I figured I'd come on here and give y'all this news. Gloria already did a backdoor thing, opening the closed deal. That's the problem with what happened with Bill. So that's from Say Y'all were trying to get on the Bill Cosby rabbit hole. I mean, it still is F. Jussie. I don't believe he didn't do it. I just believe they need to honor the agreement made. That's fair. Angela Ratchet, that's fair. That's crazy. You better give lots of thanks for that. Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing for him that he got the money for it. Like, how many people would be able to fight that all the way up to the Supreme Court if you can't afford it and you don't have a court appointed? You'd be hit. So that's one thing that he did have on his side. So anyway, if you remember, I dropped a video yesterday on Diddy and the membership, very short, maybe 3-4 minutes, just about some latest developments. And then today on the Milagro-gram. So if you're a member and you haven't checked those 2 videos out that I dropped, go on in there and drop in and look at those videos and hit the like button. But anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate it. If something else jumps off, I'll be right here jumping back on. Until then, holla at your girl.